Hello everyone, welcome to APTI PLUS Academy for Civil Services. This is a special video for all the aspirant out there who will be appearing for the UPSC CSE Prelims 2023, which is scheduled at 28th of May this month. In this video, I'll be giving you some of brief and the strategy part for the last 15 days. You're just left with 15 days. How you can potentially use this 15 days. I'll ensure that this video is short and crisp and give you the desired required information that you wanted to know in the last 15 days. I know that most of you have come across many videos that tell you strategy and other part, but in this video will ensure that I'm only telling you the relevant part that is definitely going to give you an added advantages on the examination, right? So last 15 days is very crucial when it comes to civil services examination. Most of you have used your time judiciously, and even for the time you're preparing since the notification, I know most of you must be working very hard and diligently. Now through this video, I'll give you some useful tips that will help you in the last 15 days, some do's and don'ts that you must follow for this examination, and revision approach that is desired and required for this examination. Now, in a nutshell, if I'll say 15 days should be potentially used for the part of revision. Whatever you have read across the time, even from the notification, and even if you're preparing for past couple of months, revision become very important, and it is inevitable that your revision should be your right strategy to crack this examination, right? So without taking much of your time, I'll directly come to my point and we'll start with the revision approach. So how should you go about the revision part? See, I categorize the subject, and even to explain the things better, you should identify first the low hanging subject. Now, ideally, we say low hanging fruit, but in UPSC CSE examination, it is your subject that you have to identify that is acting as a low hanging. By low hanging, I mean that this particular subject will ensure that you are fetching marks and getting marks which is clearing above your cutoff, right? So accordingly, I have prioritized the subject. So this is how you should follow. You can make tweak on this, but trust me, I have accordingly synchronized the part and arranged the subject which is most relevant for this examination. You can even try, even if you are someone who is appearing for first year or first time, or even for the second time for the CSE, you can blindly follow this revision strategy. Now, first starting with the environment, something very important in the UPSC CSE examination. Why the section of environment is important, I think I don't need to explain it further, but then also for the people who will be appearing for first time. See, for the UPSC CSE and the part of the forest examination, this is common, right? So there are common examination for CSE, Civil Services examination, and even for the Indian Forest Services, right? So because of this services, the importance of environment has become very, very important, right? And precisely there you can expect always a question between 50 to 20. This is the minimum number of questions that you can expect from this section. And just to tell you, with this image at the right hand side, I'm always signifying that you have to focus on the low hanging fruit, means the subject which is a static in nature and giving you marks that should be more important, right? So this is about the environment. In this video, I'm not giving you any detail about the topics that you need to study. That was something that would have done earlier, right? Now the last 15 days is important to prioritize your subject. That is very important. You should prioritize your subject. I'm not giving you any number of hours to study. Just prioritize your subject according to the ranking that I have given. So this is about the environment. You can expect the part of the question from 15 to 20. Now, one point of concern for the aspirant which is there, that how we should study the environment. See, my sole purpose for this video that is to get you a higher marks, right? And in environment, basically when it comes to UPSC examination, when it comes to CSE prelims examination, environment, they mostly focus on the static part. Static is something that will be always there in the paper. So if the total number of question is 15 to 20, you can expect that 15 question will be going from the static portion. So without a doubt, make sure you are revising all the basic concepts, theories that are there for the environment. This will give you at least minimum 50 to 20. By in a while, I'll be giving you the detail about the subject bifurcations and even the total number of questions that were asked from the different subject. But first, I want to make you clear what are the priorities that you should share. Now, this is the first subject that you should prioritize. Now, the second comes to Indian polity, very, very important. See, I'm mostly focusing on the static portion because static is something that will never change. UPSC will minimum ask the questions from the subject. So this is something that is going to happen, right? So for polity, even you can expect a questions like varying from 10 to 17, even to 20. I'll tell you the numbers exactly in a while. So polity is something which you should be revising. And in polity in general, see, if you see the part of the polity, I'm giving you the brief, although the part of the lessons that should be taught to you is not there. But in polity, basically, what you need to focus is upon is the part of the main features of the constitution. जो part 1 है हमारे book की, if you're referring Lakshmikant, part 1, part 2 is very important. Even then you can follow the part of the union government, state government, then you can move to constitutional and non-constitutional bodies. This is your discretion. I'm leaving it to you. This is your choice, but the subject order must be followed. So the second priority must be given to Indian polity. Now the third subject that is important, that will give you marks, and that is a low-hanging subject or the low-hanging fruit in CSE is history. Now in history, there are 3 sections that UPSC touches upon. But among them, the first most important is modern India, right? You can expect a question varying from 10 to 15 in modern history, right? Then you can gradually shift your approach to ancient history, which is in the recent time has become important, and even the conceptual question is being asked from this section. Then you, if you have a time, if time permits you, if you have already made a good revision, and even if you have studied medieval India, then this is a time that you should focus on revision on the medieval history also. But make sure you are prioritizing on modern history and ancient history. I have kept art and culture as a separate discussion. I'll be coming in a while. Now, the fourth priority order that should be there for the revision is Indian economy, something very important. Even to some extent, UPSC has asked the question number, like the total number of the question that were asked were 27. तो इकोनॉमी बहुत इंपॉर्टेंट सब्जेक्ट है आपके एग्जामिनेशन के लिए, जो कि अगेन अ लो हैंगिंग फ्रूट सब्जेक्ट है. Now in economy, there is some confusion that is also there with the aspirant in the last minute of revision, that how we should go about it. I'll make it straightforward, clear for you. First, focus on the static part, because this is something which UPSC will definitely ask you in the prelims examination. From static, there will be always a question which will be varying between 8 to 10. This is something a minimum you can expect. Now, coming to the part of the economic survey and budget, this is again something which student used to brainstorm. But just to tell you, in economic survey, if you have a compilation, even you can refer to our economic survey video or even PDF that is there. So economic survey is something important. You can, even if you need to focus upon the data that is there, if you have already read it, do it. If you have still not read it, just leave it out. This is not the time that you should be focusing. And even for the budget, why I'm focusing on budget? In budget, only focus on the part of the government scheme that has been launched, and even some of the important initiative that is there, like Govardhan, sickle cell anemia, this part which will be not only specific for economy, but it will contribute in current affairs section also, right? Now, geography is another important static subject that is a low-hanging fruit subject. So in geography, first focuses upon the part of Indian geography, because from this section, UPSC will definitely ask you question. After that, if time permits, you can gradually follow your approach to the world geography, where you can focus on the part of climatology and other stuffs, whatever you have read. So this time, I'm not asking you to add on anything, just revise what you have done according to this priority order. Now, the other part is art and culture. This is something which has a significance specifically in the UPSC CSE Prelims examination. Over the time, we have come across that this section has contributed to none less than 10 to 15 questions. So do revise this. I'm not specifying anything in this, but then also go for Buddhism, Jainism, temple architecture. These are some of the important point and favorite topic of the UPSC where they tend to ask the question, right? Now, I just want to give a focus on all this subject that is there. And you must notice that in this all content, I have not included current affairs, science and technology or other part, because that is another confusing subject that I'll discuss in a detail. Why I have mentioned only this subject? Because these subjects are static, right? These subjects are static, and this will contribute and help you to get at least the minimum desired cutoff which is there. If you are focusing on this subject only, make sure, trust me, you will be easily able to clear the cutoff, right? That is the reason in this section I'm only discussing the static portion of the examination, right? So just to summarize what I've discussed, this is something you should focus is on the low hanging fruit or subject that will give you an added marks. Now, the confusing topics and subjects which is there, right? There are 4 important topics or subject that at the last day of the examination will confuse you. That is the current affairs, the government schemes and policies, the science and technology portion, and general science. So these are the subjects, topics that even daunt student by the end of the last day of the examination. Now, just trust me, as I've told you, these are the part. This will give you at least 45 to 55 question, and this is something that will help you to clear the examination. But you cannot rely, because we have to attempt the maximum number of questions. Now, how you should go for the current affairs? See, most students invest a lot of their time in studying current affairs, which is definitely not advisable. Once you are done with all this subject, then you need to switch to this confusing topic. That is why I have kept it separate, so that you understand the difference between these subjects, right? Now, when it comes to current affairs, I think most of you must be reading newspaper. You have come across the year. You must be watching some video analysis. You must be following our website. You're reading blogs. So somewhere you are aware, unconscious or conscious, you are aware about the news, but definitely that will not suffice the need of the examination. So by the end, once you are done with all this subject that is there, go for the revision of current affairs. Allocate your hour or two to the current affairs, so that it is giving you a handful of confidence for the examination. Now, when it comes to government schemes, see, these subjects are low hanging fruit, right? I mean, these are not the low hanging fruit. Even these are the toughest part, where you cannot predict the question, right? You don't know where the number is going to vary, right? There's no static portion. There's nothing that is predefined in these subjects. Current affairs, even for like significant number of time, we have seen that UPSC can ask you current affair, even some policies or news which is their 3-year-old or 2-year-old, and we cannot define the number of even duration, that it will be only within an year duration. So that is a kind of confusion that is always there. So make sure after you are done with the subjects, you are coming to current affair. Then government policies, again, there is not more than 2 to 3 policy that will be asked, and whatever question is asked, they are mostly will be solved with the layman knowledge, and even if you have read, you can easily able to answer. So I want you not to invest much of your time in studying the government scheme and all stuff in last 15 days. Now, science and technology is again something that you can relate with the current affairs. If you are reading our compilation, which we have released, you can easily relate with this current affair to the general science and technology portion, because this is complementary to each other. साइंस एंड टेक्नोलॉजी यू पर से विल नॉट हैव टू रीड फ्रॉम अ स्पेसिफिक बुक, कोई भी एक स्पेशल बुक नहीं है जहाँ से साइंस और टेक्नोलॉजी करेंगे. करंट अफेयर्स के बहुत सारे पोर्शंस में आप आराम से साइंस एंड टेक्नोलॉजी को कवर कर सकते हैं. सो डू नॉट बॉदर, इवन द क्वेश्चन विल वेरी फ्रॉम 5 to 6 or to 7, not more than that, right? Now, general science has recently become significant, specifically for some section which UPSC is focusing upon is biology, right? So biology is something which is important. Even for the biology and disease, this has important. Again, we follow the part of chemistry and then physics. So these are the three subjects upon science and technology, basically in the general science, that you need to focus, and this should be your least, the last priority that you should be focusing. First, you have to done with all this subject. If you are done with this, according to your time schedule, I'm not giving you any schedule so that it does not confuse you. Mark your potential, check your potential, and accordingly go by the subject. First, completing all the subject, moving to this current affairs, government schemes and policies, science and technology, followed by general science, right? Now, this is what I was talking about for the part of the questions that is asked. Now, if you relate whatever we have discussed when it comes to the part of the static portion, now you'll be easily able to relate on this in the graph. So if you see for polity, right now, before I come to this analysis, just look at the part of the 2022. For polity, you have got 21 question, right? And I'm only focusing on the part of the static. Now, apart from polity, from ecology and environment, you have got 18 question. Now then, come to the part of geography. This is 9, economics 16, and 11 question from history and art and culture. This is sufficient to clear your cutoff. You are done, you are clearing your cutoff. Now, you cannot sit idle, right? So you can see that science and technology 15 are current affair 10. The student invest a lot of their time in current affair, which is definitely not advisable. You have to see the ROI, the return on investment is very low on current affairs, right? And even if you go by graph, right? So leaving for a year of 2017 and 18 where UPSC has asked a lot many questions, this number is not on that side. Now, looking to the part of other subject like polity, you can see for 14 it was 11, 13, 7, 22, 13, 15, 14 and 14. I'm not reading out one by one for section. It will take a lot of your time and don't want you to invest that much time. Your time is very crucial. So just to give you the last 3 years, for environment we have 11, then 15, for science and technology 7, 10, 12, economy 14, 14 and 15, history definitely the largest section, that is 17, 19 and 20, geography 14, 13 and 10, and current affairs 22, 19 and 14. That is the reason I call all this subject as a low hanging fruit subject, and it will ultimately give you the added advantages. Now, why you should be focusing on this subject and why I'm giving you the part of the cutoff, because if you see the cutoff is minimal. I mean, for the cutoff that was there, for CSE 2021, the cutoff is 87.54. So this was a cutoff, and even if you're focusing on the static portion, you are easily able to clear the cutoff, right? No one can stop you from clearing the cutoff and right to the main and given lead to you the other stage of the examination, that is the mains part, right? So make sure you are first focusing on last this 15 days on your static portion, then you should be moving ahead with the dynamic portion, right? This is how your approach should be. Now, CSAT is again something very important. I have seen many aspirants who have got a very good marks, even clearing far better than the cutoff. They have scored close to 120 to 150 range. But when it comes to CSAT, most of this parent fails. Now, why? Because the focus is not there. So you have to divide your time, and for every day you have to practice CSAT, right? So understanding the question trend is very important. UPSC in every year is changing its pattern when it comes to the part of CSAT, right? So make sure you are understanding that part and do not rely on specific section. What happened, कई ऐसे student हैं, aspirants हैं, they first only go by comprehension, English comprehension, someone go by maths, someone go by reasoning. This is not going to work for the CSAT. You have to solve and even prepare comprehensively, holistically, so that your minimum cutoff, the part of the qualifying is clear. Brush up your concepts and formulas in the last 15 days. That is very important. PYQ is a must. Apart from you are practicing any mock test, I'll rather suggest just sit on the time of 2 to 4 and practice the PYQs accordingly for the last 15 days. At least you should do the 10 PYQs which is there. Minimum of 10 PYQs should be done. Now, time management in the examination is very important. Although I'll make a separate video for the last minute on the civil services examination. This is a 15-day strategy video. So just focus upon this. and stimulate your mind and body as per the exam hour. What I mean, whenever you are practicing the part of the PYQs, suppose you are practicing PYQ tomorrow, you're starting from tomorrow, you just sit on the time which is there for the examination, that is for 2 to 4. Accordingly, that will stimulate your mind and even make you accommodate to that time, so that even what happened, the student do not practice at that time, and in examination the mind does not function properly. You are already done with paper one, you are in chaos. So adjusting your mind and body, stimulating on a specific time, will definitely give you an added advantage. Now, some do's and don'ts, that is very important. Most of you must be aware of this. I'm just reiterating the part that you already know, but these things are very important and very crucial. Now, revise, revise, and revise. This is the only key for the last 15 days. You don't have to even think beyond this. Only revise, and revise according to the priority order that I have told you in the beginning. Now, I'll come to PYQ and mock test in a while. Just after that, I'll be talking in this. Now, stick to the original sources that you study. Whatever you have studied, whichever book you have come across in the past couple of years you are studying, or for few months you are studying, stick to your source, whatever you have done, right? Now, return on investment is very important. By this, I want to make you clear. I have given you the bifurcation for the entire subject. So you have to invest your time according to the importance of the subject. Do not give more emphasis on current affairs, science and technology, government policies, and general science, because the return of investment from these subject is very low. Instead, you have to focus upon history, even polity, even economy, and even part of the ecology. So this is something that will help you in this examination. Now, maintain your sleep cycle. That is very important. Students feel that they are Superman. They can do anything in last 15 days. Is it not possible? This is definitely will not work. You have to maintain your circadian rhythm, and you have to maintain your sleep cycle. That is very important for your neurological function. Students tend to avoid this. Aspirants do not give importance, but your neurological function is very important for the examination. So maintain an adequate sleep and eat healthy and stay fit. If you are ill for a day, you are lagging behind many of the aspirants. So make sure you're eating healthy, you stay fit, you're not going by binge eating of any kind of fatty or even oily or cooked food that is not relevant during this time. This will make you feel bulky. Now, I'm coming to PYQs, right? As I've left this PYQ over here, now I'll be discussing this PYQ and MCQ, the part of the mock test which is there. So in state, PYQ is very important. Apart from revision, the second important thing that you should focus is PYQ. The order that I have told you at the beginning for the static subject, go by that, and accordingly आप उसी subject के PYQs उसी हिसाब से देखें. I mean to say that first I have told you that ecology is very important. Go for ecology, right? Then you should go for polity. This is polity. Then you should go for history, PYQs. Then you should go for other subject accordingly, right? If you have a book, or you can even find that on internet, go by subject wise, and practicing the questions from CSE. CAPF will also help, in CDS, that is Combined Defense Service Examination. This will give you the complete idea about the mindset of the examiner and the pattern and the nature of the question that they're asking for a specific topic, right? Now, mock test is something which is very personal to an individual. Either you can go for full length test or a sectional test. Ideally, I'll rather advise you to go by PYQs. PYQs are more relevant. If you are finding some topic tougher or some sections you're not comfortable with, go for ideal sectional mock test, but this is not the time that you should be practicing mock. Whatever mock test that you have given, just revise it, just check out how was the performance, and more focuses upon the PYQs for CSE, CAPF, and CDS. That's it, that will work out. Now, for part of the mock, we are organizing All India mock test that is scheduled for tomorrow. You can register yourself. For more details, you can refer to the description section of this video, where I provided a dedicated link that will help you to go over the prelims examination. This mock test is exactly at the level of the UPSC examination that will stimulate you for the part of the real examination. The name of the initiative is Prelims Mirror. You will find the link in the description down below. Now, some don'ts what you should completely avoid, that is like definitely there should be no new PDFs or books that you have to read. Any must important, if a PDF which is released by UPSC also, just in a lighter sense, do not read it. No new thing has to be read out. Completely no. Now, don't procrastinate anything that what will happen, how I will perform, I'm not well prepared. These are completely no, the part of the distraction. Procrastination should be completely avoided. Avoid eating unhealthy and junk foods that will definitely no, give you lethargy and not give you potential to perform with your full potential. Now, stay calm, do not panic. This last 15 days is yours. Now, this is your day that you will make history in this last 15 days. So ensure that you are utilizing it properly. And one day when you will success, you will say that, yes, I have utilized this time potential. And do not disturb your sleep pattern. Why I'm focusing on the part of sleep? Because there are a lot of studies that says that once your sleeping cycle is disturbed, your mind will not function. And in UPSC CSE examination, it's just more about the recollection of knowledge that you have. Whatever you have read, you have to recollect at the examination hall. That is the reason I'm focusing on the sleep pattern that has to be maintained. Now, last but not the least, I'll end this video. Just believe in yourself. This is a secret of success. Whatever you have done your best, and you are the best. You are the one who is going to sail this examination. Believe in yourself. And I must say, those of you who are watching have definitely prepared well, and you are the best. You will definitely prove that you are the best at the end of the day, right? So if you like this video, do not forget to subscribe APTI Plus Academy for Civil Services on YouTube. Like this content, do give us a thumbs up. We'll meet in the another session. And even just to tell you, we have a lot more other initiatives like daily news and editorial analysis, IAS Guest State Magazine, News in Focus, PIB, MPR, Gist of Yojana and Kurukshetra. All this initiative will help you to sail through the journey of civil services. For time being, I'm signing off. Thank you so much for watching this video.